good, y'all, and welcome to my review for Oppenheimer. Just got back from the theater. Oh my god, bro. Just, what a film. I think y'all already knew what my final verdict was and what I was going to think of this movie, because, you know, this is number one on my most anticipated movies list, or actually number two. Number one was Spider-Verse, correction. And, yeah, man, this film did not disappoint. It is a masterpiece. I'm gonna just say it right now, fuck, the suspense, leaving some suspense or whatever, man. Fuck that. This film is a fucking masterpiece, man, and easily my favorite film of the year so far. It's probably not nothing to get top because there weren't any other movies that I was more excited for this year than this one and Spider-Verse. So doubt that Oppenheimer will be top. I think y'all already know it's gonna be my 1 and 2 for the top 10 list this year. But maybe we still got another 7 months of the year left, or 5 months rather. Who knows? Maybe Barbie will take a spot. Doubtful, but you never know, man. You never know. Maybe Marvels might come in there, swoop it out of nowhere, and be my favorite film. Who knows? But I have a feeling that Oppenheimer will be my favorite film of the year, man. This film is just incredible, man. The best way I can describe Oppenheimer is that you are just watching a master at his craft when he's at the top of this game, because at this point, Christopher Nolan is basically always in God mode, bro. He's just basically in there all the time, man. And that's what I got throughout watching this entire film. Just a beautifully crafted, masterfully crafted film by just a master of his craft, man. I'm probably barely making any sense, but yeah, this movie was just fucking for what. Anyway, enough of me rambling. Let's just get right into the review. So the movie is, of course, directed and, of course, written by the GOAT, Christopher Nolan, and stars Cillian Murphy, Robert Downey Jr., Florence Pugh, and Emily Blunt, Matt Damon, Rami Malek, and many more. And the plot of Oppenheimer is during World War II, Lieutenant General Leslie Groves Jr. appoints physicist J. Robert Oppenheimer to work on the top secret Manhattan Project. Oppenheimer and his team of scientists spend years developing and designing the atomic bomb. So, first thing I want to say is that this movie is called Oppenheimer for a reason, because this is a movie definitely mostly builds or just about Oppenheimer himself and just his life. Before the atomic bomb, during the atomic bomb, and of course a little afterwards when the atomic bombs were dropped. This is not really a movie about the Manhattan Project itself. This is really just about this man and his kind of journey and what building the atomic bomb kind of does to a person and all that. This is really a movie about him, not so much the Manhattan Project. Although obviously the Manhattan Project does take up a good chunk of the movie. That's basically the entire second act is basically just for hour 2 and into hour 3 is just about the Manhattan Project and building the atomic bomb. Which is another thing I gotta say. You guys know this movie's 3 hours long. It does not feel like 3 hours, man. This honestly felt like hell. It felt like it was 2 hours, man. Maybe even less, man. I did not feel the runtime at all when I was watching this movie, man. It just masterfully paced, man. Anyway, let's get into performances real quick. Cillian Murphy is obviously spectacular as Oppenheimer, man. He is just incredible. I know a lot of people have been mentioning about his eyes during his performance, and I definitely have to agree with them on that, man. He was just phenomenal throughout the entire film. Would not be surprised if he ends up getting an Oscar on this year, but obviously, probably arguably the standout of this film in terms of performances is Robert Downey Jr., man. Oh my god. At this point in Robert's career, this man does not need to try. He has made hand over fist millions of dollars in the MCU fuck you money. In the fuck you MCU money, bro. He did not need to go as hard as he does in this film, but he does, man. He easily gives the best performance of him I've ever seen, man. The last time I saw Robert Downey Jr. give a performance this amazing, and mind you, I've basically only seen the Marvel movie, the MCU movies he's been in. I haven't really seen much of his other work, either before or after his time in the MCU, which I should probably maybe do that now, is Iron Man 3, which honestly, probably his most underrated performance in the MCU, man. A lot of people mentioned how great he was in the first Iron Man movie. A bunch of people were saying that he should have gotten nominated for an Oscar for Endgame and how great he was in Endgame. But honestly, Iron Man 3 I think was probably his best performance as Iron Man, and definitely his most underrated, man. More people need to talk about Iron Man 3 in general, man. But that was the last time I saw Robert Downey Jr. just give such an amazing performance, man. But he is just incredible movie. Emily Blunt is great, Florence Pugh is great, Matt Damon is fantastic as always, man. Just everybody in the cast is just phenomenal. And like that's one thing that's interesting about this movie is just how stacked the cast is and how a lot of them don't like you. There are a lot of big names in this cast, man. I'm looking at it right now, man. There's a lot of big name actors in here, and most of them do not get that much screen time. A lot of them are just glorified cameos, which I think is just fascinating. It just kind of shows you just the pull and just the I guess aura or whatever, just the reputation of Christopher Nolan that so many actors, even they get like maybe like 1 or 2 scenes, they just want to be in his movies, man. And just yeah, like there are so many amazing actors here. I'm not going to spoil most of them because there was some of them that I was surprised to see. Oh shit, he's in here. Oh shit, he's in here too. Like I was kind of surprised by how many big name actors may appear when they only had like maybe like 1 or 2 scenes. Like Emily Blunt and Florence Pugh are not in the movie that much. Like they barely have like maybe like 5 scenes each. You know, they're not in the movie that much, man. But you know, just the casting was incredible. We also got to talk about the direct. Christopher Nolan's directing this film is just impeccable, man. The cinematography was great as well, man. Obviously, the black and white segments looked amazing. I know I've said it once, but I'm gonna say it again, man. Black and white is a lost art, man, and this film once again proves it because those black and white sections looked absolutely amazing. But the directing was great, man. Here, the cinematography was fantastic, man. I did see this movie. I was able to find. I forgot to mention this earlier, but I was able to see this movie in IMAX, man, which. So glad I did, man. It was nice to finally see a Christopher Nolan movie in IMAX. You guys know I've basically missed all of his movies that came out in IMAX. Like, Interstellar wasn't even in the States when that movie came out there. Y'all know I was pissed off when I didn't get to see Dunkirk in IMAX. Tenet I wasn't able to see in IMAX because of the pandemic and everything, man. So I was helping. Like, the streak is ending today. The streak is ending with Oppenheimer, man. And just, I wasn't able to see this in like its full like 70mm IMAX glory, which if y'all can, in fact, if I remember, I'll leave a link to an IGN article that shows you all the theaters that have the 70mm reels. So if there's a theater near you guys that has a movie in IMAX 70mm, please go check them out. Like just in standard IMAX, the film looked incredible, man. I can only imagine just how much more amazing it looked with in its full 70mm IMAX glory, man. Just oh my god, this film just looked absolutely incredible, man. But yeah, well, I had to quickly mention that real quick, man, because I was like, finally, because you guys have kind of had history with this, so I wanted to see Christopher Nolan movies in IMAX and just haven't been able to get a chance to, man. So it was nice to finally get that, man. Anyway, so yeah, the directing is phenomenal, man. The cinematography was incredible, man. But also gotta just give major props to the sound design, man. The sound design in this film is just spectacular. I know a lot of people have been complaining with Christopher Nolan films recently about how the sound mixing hasn't been all that great, where the dialogue is next to impossible here, which I'm pretty sure the reason for that is because of how loud the IMAX cameras actually are, which apparently they're working on. I've seen some videos recently where apparently they're like working to make them smaller, less noisy. So that's probably the main reason why the sound mixing has never been great with a lot of his movies, where you can barely hear the dialogue. It's probably just because, you know, the IMAX cameras are just so fucking loud. But this movie didn't really have that problem, at least to me. But then again, like I said, I saw this movie in IMAX on the big ass speakers, so might differ for you guys, man. But just the sound design in general, like when we get to the just the bomb explosion, just the random sound effects they use, man, just everything about the sound design of the movie was just expertly crafted, man. Now, like I said, I didn't have any personal problems with the sound mix. I mean, there were a couple of scenes where the dialogue was a little hard to hear, but I think for those scenes that was kind of the point. That was supposed to be hard to hear in those scenes, man. I think that was done on purpose. So I personally didn't really have any problems with hearing the dialogue in this film, man. But you know, maybe it might differ for you guys to see this movie like maybe regular theater, or maybe I just got lucky because you know people were also having problems with Spider-Verse as well, where that one had some sound mixing issues as well. I personally didn't have any issues with the sound mix, man, and it just phenomenal. Now, without getting too deep into spoilers, let's just quickly talk about the actual atomic bomb, you know, scene, because that's probably like the biggest thing that everyone was excited for. Like, oh, what about the atomic bomb, and you know the memes about that, about Christopher Nolan actually dropping an actual atomic bomb to film it, man. And it was amazing. It was spectacular. Like, I will say it wasn't as, I guess, bombastic as I thought it was gonna be, especially with how much the movie was kind of building up to it during in the minutes leading up to it, when they were setting up everything ready to drop the bomb, man. And I think I was expecting to be way more in your face about it or something, man. But either way, man, it still looked phenomenal, man. And just the visual effects in general. You guys know that Christopher Nolan says that there wasn't any CGI in the movie. Everything was done practically. The effects, the nuke drop, the other scenes where you like kind of get like inside Oppenheimer's head, seeing like atoms and other stuff, kind of like working together, and you know, I don't even know how to describe half this shit, man, because I'm not a physicist. So You know, just all those scenes just looked after. We've seen them bunch. You can see a bunch of them have been in the trailers, but those scenes just looked amazing. And honestly, I honestly question if they really didn't use any CGI and everything was practical. Because honestly, bro, I have no idea how the fuck they filmed out this shit, man. Like, shout out to the visual effects team working on this movie, man. Like, they did such an amazing, incredible job with the visual effects, man. The visual effects in me just looked. Oh my god, they looked amazing. Like the actual Tom Bomb scene, like I mentioned before, looked amazing. But just the other scenes as well, man, just looked so damn good. The visual effects were just amazing. Like I said, I question if they really didn't have any CGI in this movie just because of that, man. But either way, man, they looked amazing, man. And I hope the Blu-ray has a behind-the-scenes feature where we actually get to see how they actually filmed out this shit. Because, God, bro, my jaw was on the floor half the fucking time, man. Now, I think that's about everything I really want to talk, because I don't want to get too deep into spoilers for you guys. I think the only problem, if you could say it, I had a problem with, is because I saw this movie in IMAX, of course, the aspect ratio was shifting. Most of the time, it wasn't that noticeable, although there would be certain scenes where they, like, go to, like, IMAX footage, then like regular cameras and right back to IMAX footage in like quick succession, which did get a little distracting during certain scenes, but like that's really about, in terms of actual like problems, that's about the only thing I can think of, man. Just this movie was just phenomenally. This is a movie for cinephiles, made by cinephiles. If you've been someone that's been kind of looking for like a truly epic cinematic drama, you know, like we used to get like back in the 90s and the early 2000s, like, you know, your fucking Green Miles and not Schindler's List, or maybe that one can count. I haven't seen the movie yet, or like the Shawshank Redemption. That was the movie I was thinking about. You know, those types that we don't really get that much on. Oppenheimer, man, fills that void, man, or whatever other movies you think could fit in that sort of description, man. This was just a phenomenal film, man. Go out and watch it. Of course, you know, you'll go check Barbie out as well while you're at it, man. But just watch the movie, man. And like I said, if you can catch the movie in 70mm IMAX, please do yourself your favor and go check it out there, man. This film is incredible, and I highly recommend you guys all to check it, whether you are a fan of Christopher Nolan films or not. This movie was just a masterpiece across all fronts. And also the score was fantastic as well, man. Phenomenal score, man. So I almost forgot to mention that. The score was phenomenal as well. And yeah, that's about everything I got for you guys today. As always, leave your thoughts on the comments you guys have Oppenheimer, man. And yeah, overall, my final verdict, as I mentioned before, is a 10 out of fucking 10, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow me on my socials if you feel like it. Links in the description below. And as always, come back for more. See you guys next time.